What's up YouTube, and welcome to the Anabolic Outpost. Today I will be showing you my Anabolic peanut butter and jelly sandwich recipe. I have always loved PB&Js, and when I switched over to a diet higher in protein, I was always looking for that peanut butter and jelly I could eat, but for me it just wasn't enough protein. Luckily, I was able to create this recipe that is a peanut butter and jelly that is also extremely high in protein. By using bread that is just absorbed in egg, it makes it incredibly easy to make bread that is high in protein. And I'm also going to show you a couple other different ingredients that make this just more high in protein for the lowest calories. The first thing is going to be the bread. Now, I actually prefer the taste of whole wheat better than white, but if you want to use white, it's going to be about the same calories for you. Next is going to be the egg whites that are soaked into the bread. And also the 2 whole eggs that I am using make a big difference in the texture, but if you want to, you could substitute 100 more grams of the egg whites. Powdered peanut butter, it does not matter the brand, and the Walden Farms 0-calorie fruit spread for the jelly of the sandwich. Now, if you can't find this fruit spread, I have an alternative recipe to make jelly for the sandwich that is low calorie and actually using real fruit. If you want to check out that video, it is actually a short, so you could just get through it extremely fast. I will link it down below. The next ingredient is going to be the cinnamon. And lastly, your 0-calorie sweetener of choice. I am using sucralose. To start this out, we're going to make the mixture that the bread slices are going to be dipped in to make them extremely high in protein. And I'm going to start this out by just cracking my 2 eggs into the mixing bowl. Next, I'm going to add in 300 grams of liquid egg whites. Like I said before, if you want to just do straight egg whites, you could just add 420 grams of egg whites instead of the whole eggs. But I think it makes a huge difference in texture. But for somebody that is really trying to cut calories, you could do that if you so choose. I am now going to add in 1 gram of the sucralose sweetener. If you're using a different sweetener, just be sure to translate it and see how much sweetener you should add for your bread mixture. To finish this out, we're going to add 1 gram of cinnamon just to make the bread taste that much better. You can now go ahead and hit this mixture with a whisk. Just be extra careful to make sure that the yolks are broken up good and evenly distributed inside of the mixture. I am now going to make the peanut butter spread that is going to go on top of my slices to make the peanut butter and jelly, and I'm going to be adding 40 grams of the powdered peanut butter inside of the bowl, and you are going to add equal parts water to make this the perfect consistency of peanut butter. So in total in this bowl is going to be 40 grams of the powdered peanut butter and 40 grams of cold water. You can now go ahead and hit it with a fork. It's just going to take about a minute or 2 of mixing so that the powder is evenly distributed. And you can see what the spread is starting to look like once it is all mixed together. It's a nice thick peanut butter consistency. Obviously not the real thing, but it makes for a great substitute. I'm now going to go ahead and spray my pan with cooking spray. And now I'm going to dip my 4 slices of bread into the mixture that we made at the beginning of the video. And these 4 slices of bread are obviously going to make 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which is a perfect for a meal for me. And just make sure they're soaked. Don't worry if there's any excess egg white mixture inside of the bowl, because we're going to spoon that on top of the bread once they're all dunked in. And it's pretty simple. You could just repeat this process 3 times over again. Now that all 4 slices are on the pan, there's probably going to be some excess egg white mixture that is still in the bowl, and you're just going to do like so. Just put it on top of all of the slices and just spread it into the toast. And don't worry if some of the mixture is coming off the sides of the bread. We could scrape that and form that into the bread so that it is just a bigger slice of bread after all. Alright, and I am just about done with this mixture. And I forgot to mention that you're going to want to cook these on a low to medium heat. You want to make sure that the mixture is evenly cooked inside of each of the slices of bread, and you don't want it to be soggy on the inside while it's burnt on the outside. So low to medium heat for these, and you're going to want to have these cook for about 4 to 7 minutes. It depends on the stovetop and if you let the stove preheat or not. And it's been about 6 minutes here, and I'm just going to go ahead and get to flipping each of these breads. This one here was kind of sticking on me, but luckily it was kind of early in the process, and I was able to revive it towards the end there. And you're just going to repeat the process on the other side of these and cook for another 4 to 7 minutes, checking them after 4 minutes to make sure that they're not burning. They are now done cooking, and I'm just going to double check to make sure that they're ready, and then I could go ahead and plate each of these slices of bread. And I will say it's kind of off-putting to have smoking hot pieces of bread on your PB&J, so you're probably going to want to let these cool for just like 10-15 minutes. You could still have it warm, but when it's just smoking hot like this, it's not as enjoyable. And it is now time to put this peanut butter mix to work, and I'm just going to go ahead and spread these on 2 of the bread slices. And you are now going to do the same thing with the Walden Farms 0-calorie fruit spread, just putting it on 2 slices of the bread, and then when you make the sandwich, there is 1 ingredient on both sides of each of the bread. And honestly, I don't even measure this stuff out because it's 0 calories, and I don't even count it when I'm doing the final macros for this recipe. But if you really want to weigh it out, because it probably is like 5-10 calories per serving, you could do that yourself and see how much you put on there when you are eating this. And these high protein sandwiches are now good to go, so we could go ahead and put these together before we consume them. And that is going to be the final recipe. This recipe also works really good as a meal prep recipe because in my opinion, these are even better the second day when you're eating them. And you could just cook these. If you have 2 of those skillets, it's going to be super quick to just cook these in bulk at the beginning of the week. And then you will have high protein PB&J sandwiches to eat throughout your lunch week. And I'm not going to lie, these get kind of messy, so I tend to eat these with a fork. And sometimes I'll even put some 0-calorie syrup on top and it eats even better. We can now get to the macros for this recipe. It's going to come in at 85 grams of protein with 59 grams of carbs, 18 grams of fat, for a total of 745 calories. And if you ask me, that is one of the lower calorie meal recipes that we've had, and also very high protein. To be able to get 85 grams of protein in one meal for that low calorie, you really cannot beat it. And combined with the simplicity of making this, I'm not going to lie, it's not the best tasting recipe in the world, but the simplicity and the fact that it is so high in protein has me making it more often than some of the other recipes that I think are a lot more delicious. But don't get me wrong, this is still great because this is in my regular rotation of meals. But that is pretty much all I got for you as far as this video goes. If you had any questions or were confused at all on how to make this, leave a comment down below and I will see if I could try to troubleshoot that for you and make it so that it is just delicious as mine. Other than that though, if you find this recipe helpful, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.